Aya! Welcome to a milestone edition of Records Roundup. Yes, it's the 40th instalment. I suppose that's a milestone in the fact that 40 is a pretty round, equal number. And I've got 9 records to show you, so lots to get through, although the first 4 of these are all singles, 12-inch singles to be precise. And let's get cracking with those right away, as I've got some more additions to the KLF collection to show you. These first 2 purchases were from a Discogs seller here in the UK. Feels quite a while ago since I bought these. I've been waiting for stuff in the post, and there will be a mail opening to do near the end, so that I feel I've got enough to show in this one video. But the first of the 2 purchases from Discogs is the 12-inch single Burn the Bastards. So this was a relatively early KLF, as in them being credited as the KLF rather than the Jams or even the Time Lords. I think this came out after Doctor in the TARDIS. It might have been before. I'm a bit hazy with my KLF chronology, really. But yeah, nothing really much to say about this. It's come in the standard KLF Communications generic type sleeve. Trying to see what's on this disc exactly. I think it's 2 tracks by the look of it. Burn the Bastards, and on the other side, Burn the Beat. The information will be on screen anyway as to exactly what's on here. Not a track that I've been familiar with very much, not compared to some of the KLF / Jams and Time Lords bigger hits. Wanted this one. It wasn't a bad price. Can't remember exactly how much, but it was cheap. So that was Burn the Bastards. And also from that seller was the final remaining Disco 2000 12-inch single I needed. This one is One Love Nation. There again, it looks to be a 2-track 12-inch single with the radio edit on side 1 and the full-length version on side 2. Nothing really much to say. I explained about Disco 2000 in Records Roundup 38, which was a KLF special, but that is the second out of 3 singles they released, and the final one I needed to complete that part of the KLF collection. So we move on to an eBay purchase now, and out of all the singles that I've been getting from the KLF recently, this one was really my top want. It was a little more expensive than all the others, really. Not massively so, but including postage, was this a best offer on eBay? It probably was. It was maybe a bit under 25, which is more than what I'd normally like to pay for a second-hand 12-inch single. But this one's in pretty nice condition, really. I did see one that's been on eBay for a while, and if you look at the photos and zoom right in, it does look pretty scruffy, the sleeve. So I decided to ignore that, and that one wasn't much change out of 20. I just pay a little bit more for this one that does look to be in much better condition. This is the Justified Ancients of Moo-Moo's All You Need Is Love, the debut single from Jimmy Cauty and Bill Drummond. This does have 3 tracks. All You Need Is Love, side A, and then something I'm not even going to try and pronounce on side B. You'll see it on screen. And also Rap, Rhyme and Scratch Yourself. Okay, on the flip side as well. The Defaced Today newspaper billboard there. That's James Anderton, formerly of Greater Manchester Police. I think he passed away maybe last year or the year before. It was fairly recently. This one does come in an inner sleeve. The other 2 didn't. Nice Jams logo on either side. The original version of this did sample the Beatles' All You Need Is Love, albeit the La Marseillaise intro at the very start, whereas subsequent versions of the song on the single release and on the album 1987 as well, I think had to do away with the Beatles sample. I mean, they still got into trouble over the 1987 album, mainly from ABBA for other samples. But anyway, the Jams, All You Need Is Love, that's the KLF collection done pretty much for now. I still want the 1987 album. I could pick up more of the singles, but they'll just be variants on what I've already got. So I'm looking out for 1987, what the fuck is going on. It is a grail, but I might get lucky one day, fingers crossed.
With this killer virus, who needs war? Imminent ties to eschaton. I said shag, 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 stuff more.
It's dying and there's nothing I can do. Just wait and watch and pray to God for
I move on to a couple of pickups from Amazon now. Don't do an awful lot of record shopping at Amazon, but I do try and look out for a couple of accounts I follow on Twitter where they show good vinyl deals on Amazon. And also, I had £25 gift credit to spend on there, thanks to my best friend Dan. I doubt he's watching this. He does watch my videos from time to time, but if he is watching, thank you so much, my friend. As always, this is what I bought with your generous gift. So this is a 12-inch single, first single from this artist I've got in my collection, even though she's my favourite female artist. It is the 20th anniversary picture disc edition of May It Be by Enya. Now, this has been out, I think, a couple of years or so now, and normally when I'd seen it around, I thought it was a bit overpriced. Like, you could get it from Dig Music for one, and even with a little bit of a discount occasionally, it was still like close to £20 for a 12-inch single. I didn't want to pay that. I don't collect Enya singles, I've got all her albums, and some of you will have seen me unbox the Box of Dreams vinyl box set not too long ago. But I thought, well, this would be a nice single to get, but I want to get it for a good price, and it was just over a tenner at Amazon. Also, I've got gift credit, so I'll get this and something else, and you know, that's my birthday money spent, so to speak. So it's got a hype on it there, telling you that it's the 20th anniversary since the issue of the single originally in 2001. Of course, it's the main theme, or the main track from the first Lord of the Rings film, The Fellowship of the Ring. It's a 3-track single, May It Be on side A, and Isabella and the First of Autumn, which I think I've probably got those tracks elsewhere, but I'm not 100% certain as I'm standing here on side B. We'll get this open because it's a picture disc. That was really the big selling point. Funnily enough, this is the second picture disc I've got in recent times that still comes in like what I'd call a standard record sleeve. Normally a picture disc will come in like more or less transparent outer sleeve so that it can show the disc itself in all of its picturesque glory. Girls Aloud, Sound of the Underground, that was a picture disc that I picked up not too long ago, and that just came in its normal sleeve, and similar thing for Enya here. So I think it's a little bit of a shame when they do that, as they're not really showing you exactly what the picture disc is like. You can see photos on the internet, obviously. This feels quite nice and heavy, probably 180 gram vinyl, and here we are. I'll show you what will presumably be side A, which does match the cover, to be fair, but it's always nice to see the disc itself. And side B essentially replicates the back of the sleeve. Yeah, I think they could have done something a little more unique with the flip side, certainly. They could have maybe stuck an image, a scene from Fellowship of the Ring on even, you know, that might have attracted a few more Lord of the Rings nerds as opposed to just people who want to buy an Enya single. Not my very favourite Enya single, May It Be. I think she's done better, but it's still one that I like, and it's certainly one of her most popular ones over the last 20 years because of how successful the film was. So that is the picture disc. Finally managed to pick it up for a good price, a little bit over £10 I think it was, brand new on Amazon. Enya's May It Be.
May it be when darkness falls, your heart will be true. You walk a lonely road, oh how far you will walk from home.
And the other purchase I made from my birthday gift credit on Amazon was an album that would have come out to maybe just under £15. I'd only really been looking for these sorts of albums on Juno Records and also eBay a couple of times as well. But then I had the idea when I was trying to think what to spend my Amazon credit on. I thought, oh yeah, I could look for this series on Amazon, and lo and behold, they had a great choice. They had some stuff that I've bought and it was literally dirt cheap. This one, because I didn't have it and I listened to a couple of the tracks on YouTube, I thought I'll get this from the ZYX Italo Disco series. This is the greatest hits and remixes of Silver Pozzoli. So another one, like all these, or not all, but most of these Italo artists from the 1980s, I'd never heard of them. Searched up ZYX and greatest hits and remixes, and this one was at a good price. I thought, yeah, I'll have a listen to a couple of the tracks. Liked what I heard, as I always do when I'm investigating this stuff before I buy it. It's just out on standard black vinyl, this. Thought it was a decent price. If you're paying more than, I'd say, £15 for a ZYX Italo album, I think you're overpaying really, because they're cheap and cheerful, but they're certainly cheerful. They're great stuff, great music. 4 tracks on each side, looks like it's the extended club versions and things like that. Just another one for this collection. There is still others that I know are out there that maybe I'll get round to picking up one day. As I say, I do like to get these from Juno, and I've even picked a couple up from a German seller on eBay, which were a good price, including international postage. Happy to get this from Amazon. Greatest hits and remixes by Signor Silver Pozzoli.
Wanna know to keep me going, baby. I close my eyes and all I dream is you. See my dream around. See my dream around. See my dream around. See my dream. See my dream around. See my dream around.
Onto a collection completer here, and this one has been kind of a mini grail for me. I've been looking for it and I have just not pulled the trigger. The few times I've seen it on Discogs and maybe once or twice on eBay, it's always been just that little bit too highly priced, and to be fair, it was pretty highly priced when I bought it finally now, but it's for an artist who I'm a big fan of. I collected all his albums over the last, I'd say, year to 18 months. This was the one that I wanted to complete his collection. Andrew WK with his experimental and I think instrumental album 55 Cadillac. So this was from eBay. Once again, it could have been a best off. In fact, yes, I remember now, I actually got £20 off this. There was some haggling. I think originally I was really trying my luck and trying to get over £30 off it, but eventually we settled on a price that he was deducting £20 off his listing, so no complaints at all. It was only limited 750 copies this. The seller did send it with one of these protective outer sleeves as well. I don't think this is coloured vinyl, but it will be open, I think. No, actually, no, it's sealed. I forgot it was actually new and sealed, this, so I won't get it out. Andrew WK, I think it's from Michigan. Great kind of almost symphonic pop rock artist, you know, quite a sort of, I don't want to say novelty artist, because that's been a bit unfair, but a lot of his stuff is certainly tongue-in-cheek. I think this is a very reflective kind of thing that he put out when he was having legal problems, and maybe not the most essential album in Andrew WK's canon, but it's the one album of his that I needed to finish the collection. So I had to have it sooner or later, and I've just been looking at this now for probably a year or more, just trying to bide my time for a good price. Still a lot of money, can't remember exactly how much, but I think something like £60 or something like that. But bear in mind, it was listed for I think at least 80 on eBay. So yeah, really happy, delighted in fact. Possibly my favourite pickup of the day, this one, to be honest. 55 Cadillac completes the Andrew WK album collection. And finally, we can move on to a mail opening. Now this is a package from a website I've never used before. They were being retweeted by one of the Twitter accounts that I like to follow for vinyl deals and stuff like that. This is an account on Twitter that it's nothing to do with Amazon, but it tends to showcase sales that are going on for like independent record stores, you know, ones that have a website generally. And the website in question that had a sale on is, let me see if I can get this right, because the name is on the return address, revivedvinylrecords.co.uk, and they're apparently based in Winsford in Cheshire. So if you're up near Winsford in Cheshire, give them some support. And even if you're not, go on the website and check them out, because they've got some really good deals, and I'll explain about them as I show you the records. There's 3 albums in here, and the total purchase I think was, including postage, in fact I believe it was free postage because it was over a certain amount, but the total price was under £60. I'm getting 3 brand new albums here. Oh, they've put them all in protective outer sleeves as well, even though these are all brand new and sealed. I think it's just a sticky invoice that's left in there. The first of these 3 pickups from Revived Vinyl Records is a 2-disc album, Pulp's This Is Hardcore. I've been threatening to get this for a long time. I've got His and Hers on double white vinyl, and I've got Different Class on standard 1 LP. I did used to have this on CD. I think I bought this the day or the week it came out. It was 1997. Massively into Britpop and into getting to all the record shops every week to see what was new, and buying all my CDs and stuff. Not the best Pulp album, but I like it, and I like it enough that I did want to add it back into the collection at some point. Just black vinyl, this. It's got the singles, Help the Aged, I think The Fear was a single, certainly the title track, This Is Hardcore was, and Party Hard. After Different Class, it was a very sort of out of left field turn from Pulp. They lost a band member during the making of this, and there was drug problems, and they weren't getting on with one another, and it was surprisingly even survived to carry on recording after this, which I'll get onto in a moment. So this and the next one I'll show you were in a 2 for $39.95 deal, so that's less than £20 per album. Brand new, can't complain at all for Pulp. This Is Hardcore. So the other Pulp album that really I wanted for this collection, now that I knew I was getting This Is Hardcore, is one that I don't really see around very often, but I saw it at Revived Vinyl, and it was in the 2 for $39.95 deal, so I had to get Wheel of Life. I've never heard this, never owned it, didn't buy it when it came out in 2001. The date will be on screen. Just a 1-discer, this one, black vinyl again. This is their final studio album. They've not released another album since this, well over 20 years ago. Of course, they have reformed a couple of times, including very recently for tours and things like that. But as far as I know, they're not intending on releasing any new albums. They might release the odd single perhaps or something like that. This one was produced by, what's his name? Scott Walker of the Walker Brothers. I can't really speak about this because I've never heard it, but I thought, you know, in for a penny, in for a pound, This Is Hardcore, looking for another album in the 2 for $39.95 promotion. And they've got a lot of good stuff in that. You know, if you consider buying a brand new and sealed LP, often a double LP as well, like This Is Hardcore, for £20 is, you know, I think that's a good deal any day of the week, really. Will I get any of the earlier Pulp albums? Because the only ones I'm missing now, I think, are their first 3, which are, and these might be in the wrong order, It, Separations, and Freaks. Maybe, I might do, you know, I might decide to be a Pulp completist now, as there's only 3 to go. But it's the later stuff, it's the His and Hers onwards Pulp stuff that I really wanted, so I'm not going to be in any great rush to get any of them, but if I see any good deals out there, and to be fair, I thought this was a really good deal being in the promotion on the website, and it's not an album that I've seen around very often on my travels either. Wheel of Life.
Forget that nothing lasts forever. No big deal. So give us
Lastly is the third pickup, and this was the one that I added to my cart first. I saw a tweet from Revived Vinyl talking about not only their 2 for $39.95 section, but also their clearance section. And this album had £10 off it, making it, I think, $14.95. And it goes well in a collection that I'm trying to build up a little bit at the moment. But it's the League Unlimited Orchestra's Love and Dancing. Now, the League Unlimited Orchestra, and you'll be able to see it become clear once I turn it round onto the reverse sleeve. But it is the Human League, but it's kind of one of the first remix albums, really. It's basically a remix version of the Dare album, which was their big breakthrough in, what would that have been, 1981? I've been thinking about getting this for a while now. I picked up the Human League Virgin Years box set, love that. I got Octopus on vinyl recently, their 1995 album. I picked up the reissue of that. They've got their following album to that, which I can't remember the name offhand, but I've pre-ordered the Half-Speed Master version, which is out next month, so you'll be seeing that pretty soon. And then I thought, you know, as this was reduced from £25 to £15, why not? I do like a good remix album. Dare was a great album, possibly the strongest in the Virgin Years box set. I'm gonna have to listen to that again and really decide which one definitely is my favourite out of those. Human League, or the League Unlimited Orchestra as they're credited for this, with Love and Dancing. And that's all the records in Records Roundup number 40. A lot to get through, but by God, we got through them all together. Thank you all for watching, and I want to say special thanks, as I always do and always will, to my wonderful subscribers and my generous patrons. Please see referral links for HMV, Urban Jungle Contents Insurance, and other interesting stuff like my Patreon link and Facebook group page as well, all linked down in the description text box. I'm gonna go now. Lots to listen to. The KLF singles, I've been holding on to them probably the longest, really, waiting to do this video, so I think they're gonna get listened to first, and then Enya May It Be probably right afterwards. As I always say, doesn't take long to listen to a single, be it 7-inch, 10-inch, 12-inch. Anyway, enough talk about all these inches, otherwise I'll have people accusing me of slipping in double entendres, and you know me, I don't like to slip it in too often. I'm gonna go now, and I do hope that all of you will join me again next time for my next Records Roundup and record collecting video. Cheers everyone. See ya!